I have a confession to make. I have never watched Black Panther, mostly because I was never interested in seeing it. People made a big deal out of it when he was showing up in, I forget which movie it was, Civil War, and I could not give a shit. And then in the months leading up to that fucking movie of his, where everyone under the sun was trying to make it a big deal, and for the record, I think the movie, it sounds like it was a third-rate movie or worse. People were saying white people do not come, us black people are all going to see on this day, and to that I will say I did get some funny commentary on the comments on Twitter. I remember just some black guy did a video where he was like, "Yeah, you might want the lights on when you're done." And then another guy was, and then just some guy was like, "No, you'll know they're there because they never shut the fuck up." And it's a black guy saying that for the record. I can't remember the joke exactly. You'd have to go up and find it yourself. But I no. And then the actor came out and accused Scorsese of being racist. I was like, okay, fuck you for one. That's why when I heard he died, I didn't feel that sad. And people, and the main thing, the crux of the thing that pissed me off the most was they said how refreshing it is to finally have a black superhero movie. All I can really say is, what the fuck? Like, these people had the attention span of a gnat, and that leads into what I wanted to talk about. Sorry for the long intro, but I would rather watch Blade 100 times over than ever watch Black Panther. That movie was the shit. I saw it when I was a kid. A few days ago, I went back to watch it online. It is still the shit. People bitch about the techno music. I don't see the problem with the techno music. And this is probably one of the few times I will disagree with Critical Drinker, and one of the few times I think he's an asshat on his commentary. Like, no offense to Critical Drinker, but the whole saying Wesley Snipes sometimes feels like he doesn't know what movie he's in. No, the stuff, his performance was like he was portraying a character and giving him some personality. You Scottish asshole. I'm kidding about the asshole part. I think Critical Drinker's okay. Beyond this one, I think he's dead wrong in terms of Wesley's and Snipes' performance. I think like there are these funny moments with Blade. Like he's for the most part stoic and serious, and then he has these little moments of humor. Like he nails a guy to a wall with a silver stake, and then he kind like I wish I could show you the gesture. I couldn't even find a good enough image to use online, but like he does some kind of pump thing with his arm, like yeah, I did it, and then there's that, and so he goes from that back to stoic, and then another time a couple of cops shoot him, and he's wearing chest armor. He's like, "Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?" And I thought, yeah, no, that was intentional. That was funny. And again, the techno music. I do not see the problem with techno music. I liked the music in the Blade movies, and it was the '90s. I think techno music was a big thing back then. I don't like techno music, but I don't see a problem with it. The villain was meh, kind of hard for me to give a shit. Although apparently there was some drama between him and Snipes, I guess, which is kind of sad, but oh well. And the action scenes were good. Like he blew up some people by injecting them with this thing that caused their blood to eventually blow up, and they like swell up and go kaboom. I remember Red Letter Media complaining about that, to which I can say if I ever needed more proof to why Red Letter Media are a bunch of douchebag hipster hacks, that would be it for me. Or at least I think they did. Anyway, sorry. I love ragging on Red Letter Media. I don't know why. But the action was good. And basically, I should probably tell you some of the plot. Basically, you got this guy called Blade. His mother was bitten by a vampire when she was pregnant with him, so he inherited some of their abilities. And then one of the vampires he stakes to a wall and sets on fire, doesn't die. It kills one guy and bites a hematologist in the throat, and before she can die, he and his mentor Whistler help her. And what else? She basically goes. Can't remember if she found a cure or not, but she did find a way to kind of help herself. And like I may have watched this movie a few days ago, but I forget things real fast, so bear with me. And while investigating what vampires are up to, he finds out that they are trying to enact some kind of prophecy, or like the newer ones are. The purebloods, I think, are not. They're complacent with what's going on. And he finds out this prophecy basically means they're trying to revive the blood god. And Blade fights him, and he has probably the best line for killing him. Because remember how I said he caused people to blow up? Well, the hematologist made these things that could make people blow up by injecting them once with it. He, through all the ones he had left, he just stabbed the main antagonist Frost with it. Spoiler alert. And he blew up. And before he kicks the last one into his head, he's like, "Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill." I love it. I love everything about it. I wouldn't say this is like cheesy 80s worthy of stuff, but it's good. It was good. And he has a sword. He has some guns. They did bullet time before I think that became a thing. They had... What else did they have? I don't know. Like it gives the vampires a kind of culture and language, which I thought was kind of interesting. You learn sort of how they have humans who work for them. You have just basically some good shit. It's like good fight scenes. The CGI I think has aged well, or I think it has anyway. This is another thing I disagree with Critical Drinker on, but then again, I sometimes think he can be a snob. Sometimes. For the most part, I think he's pretty spot on. But yeah, the CGI is okay. It's not. I don't see an issue with it. Now, Red Letter Media's commentary on it, however, okay, I'm sorry. Fuck Red Letter Media is all I'm saying. The CGI, it is what it is. I can take it or leave it. I can. I can take it. I don't see an issue with it. I mean, by today's standards, it's bad. But then again, it was the 1990s. What do you fucking expect? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, really awesome performance by Wesley Snipes. And Blade is definitely one of those characters who will go, and he says this in the second film, "You obviously do not know who you are fucking with." And I'm like, in this movie, you get that, yeah, they definitely had no idea who they were fucking with. They were so dead, it wasn't even funny. Yeah, it was good. It's a good film. I actually had to stop watching some of it halfway through, I think. It's hard to remember now. But yeah, good film. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. Oh, and back to my main point about them saying we haven't had an actual black superhero movie. Yeah, we had both Blade and Spawn. So once again, the hipster dipshits at the journalist rags obviously are either blowing smoke out their ass or they are lying willfully because they love sowing racial tension. So yeah. And if someone gives me shit for what I said earlier about the Black Panther actor, I do not feel sorry about what I said. I think he was an asshole for saying that about Scorsese. I am sad he died of cancer. My grandmother died of that. However, yeah, when you pull a race hustle, I call bullshit. And assuming that was actually him. Because it's been years since I heard that story. Anyway, I've dragged that out longer than I should. Sorry, I love to go on tangents sometimes because there are certain things that piss me off to no end. One of them is race hustlers. The other is ignoring good films like Blade. And if you have not watched it, you should probably bitch slap yourself or slap your own hand because that is a no-no. How can you not have seen Blade yet? Anyway, that's the video. Have a nice day, and remember the game was rigged from the start. And don't try to ice skate uphill.